Do you want to meet my vacuum cleaner? If you're interested in this and 6 more frugal living hacks, then stick around because I got you. Welcome, I'm Amy, and here at the Frugal Diaries I give you tips and tools for frugal living. Let's talk about these 7 frugal living hacks. Number 1, get outside and go for a walk. It's a rainy day here on my street today, but I still wanted to get out and go for a walk, and so I did. And I took some footage so that I could take you with me and show you a little bit of what it's like out in my neighborhood. If you can get out and go for a walk or do something out in nature that you enjoy every single day or almost every single day, it will increase the frugal freedom and richness of your life immeasurably. It doesn't cost anything to go for a walk, so that's a start right there. You can walk for free. You can see nature around you for free. And when you get out for free, you get to enjoy the benefits of improved health. Your lungs get stronger, your muscles get stronger, your bones get stronger. Again, all for free. And you get to improve your state of mind because being out and walking and being in nature improves everything about our lives. Now, you may be in a situation where getting out and walking is really challenging for a number of reasons. It could be health reasons or because you have other obligations. Find some way to take care of yourself that feels good, that gets you breathing deeply, and that really takes you out of the dailiness of your life. Sometimes when we're really focused on our frugal journeys, we think, I must hyper-focus on everything about every part of my life all the time. But if you just get out and go for a walk and see the beauty of nature, you can understand that so many things in life are frugal just because they're free. When you come back into your house, after your walk, after your beautiful experience of nature, there's stuff you have to do. And this is where we get to Goldie's Frugal Diary of the Day. Goldie's Frugal Diary of the Day comes to us both from me and from one of our viewers who gave a tip that I thought was absolutely adorable. Let me share mine first, and then I'm going to share our viewers. My tip is to brush your dog every day, assuming it's a dog that needs brushing every day. Goldie really enjoys being brushed. She enjoys the experience of being brushed, and she enjoys the treats that she gets after she gets brushed. She is exactly 12 and a half years old. It's a great age for a golden retriever to attain, and I'm so glad that she's here with me and here with you to share about brushing her every single day. It makes life much better because if you brush your dog every day, you get to know your dog's general state of being. You get to know when the dog feels good, when the dog doesn't feel so good. You get to share affection. You improve the dog's daily quality of life and also yours. And also you can spot health issues just as they're cropping up, so you can get to the vet before it becomes too big of an emergency. As you know, if you're a dog lover, they often don't want to trouble us with the things that are bothering them, and so they won't tell us when it hurts. And so when we're brushing them every day, we can really get more in tune with them. Now, I had a wonderful tip from a viewer, which was that her mom's dog loved to be vacuumed. And every time mom would pull out the vacuum cleaner, the dog would get all impatient and want to be vacuumed as well. So I'm curious, have you vacuumed your dog? Does your dog like to be vacuumed? Goldie would not enjoy being vacuumed. She runs away from the vacuum. But this dog actually ran with the vacuum and wanted to be vacuumed. It's such an interesting strategy. Tell me, how do you take care of your dog so that you feel connected to your dog and so that you feel frugal along the way? If you're getting value out of this video, would you give it a like and consider subscribing and hit that notification bell? If you'd like to contribute to the growth of the channel, click the link below for Buy Me a Coffee, where you can make a one-time contribution or become a monthly member. Now let's get back to these hacks. Next, don't give up on your floors. I asked you folks recently for help with my floors, and you gave so many ideas that I really appreciated. Everything from just don't look down, it'll be fine, to get a Roomba, and everything in between. So if you're in the habit of watching my videos without reading the comments, I would urge you to actually go in and read the comments. Unlike a lot of places, the comment section here is a font of useful information, and I learned a lot. I decided not to be so ashamed about what I do with the floors, and instead share with you all the things that I have tried to mitigate living with people with long hair, a dog, and a cat. So here goes. First of all, most of us recognize this implement right here. I have used a Swiffer with the disposable pads that are dry, with the disposable pads that are wet, with cloths of different kinds, ranging from terry cloth to microfiber, and it's sort of okay. So when I am using this Swiffer, I sometimes like to use a spray bottle, and I discovered it was cheaper to buy a bottle of cleaner than to buy an empty bottle, and these squirt bottles are great. I used up about half of it, and then I just filled it up with water, and it's still working great. So So I think these cleaners, although they're meant to be used full strength, can actually be stretched out for a really long time. And then when it's done, I will just fill it with water, some vinegar, and some dish soap, and I'll have a much better bottle than if I spent more on an empty bottle. Next up, we're going super old school with a broom and dustpan. This sort of works, but sometimes I find that it just kicks up the dust and the dog fur, and it doesn't really take care of what I needed to take care of, which is getting rid of the stuff. Then of course we have the classic. This is some kind of a Bissell something that's supposed to take care of pet hair and blah blah. You know how that goes. If you have a dog, you know you've probably tried a number of things that say they'll deal with pet hair. I honestly can't recommend anything over anything else because it's just all a lot of work, and I tend to go through these things, even these more expensive ones, every couple of years just because of all the hair and all the fur. But this gets used fairly often in my house. My most recent acquisition is this baby. It's called the Shark Vac Mop, and I use the vac portion of it, but not the mop portion of it. This comes with its own single-use vacuum mop pads, which both extract and dust the dirt and fur off of the floors, and then you dispose of it. In the moment, it's extraordinarily convenient. Over time, it's deeply ecologically unsound and really pretty expensive. Not my most frugal option, I have to confess. If you are dealing with something like limited mobility and you live in a small place and you don't have to clean very often, this actually might be a good option for you. I don't know that I would have done it if I had known that it was so resource intensive, but it really does take care of the fur. I can't complain about that. When it comes to mopping, I mentioned that I sometimes just go with the good old Swiffer with either the disposable pads or a wet cloth. And I also like the good old Shark steam mop thingy. These have been around for a really long time. Most of you probably have one lurking somewhere in your house or in your pantry. And they use these scrubby things to scrub the floor. You use this cup to put water in it, and it steams everything. And I can use this around my whole house, and it's okay. Everything is just okay, you know. What I really want is something that takes me 5 minutes, costs nothing, and makes me feel like I'm not working at all. I know this is unrealistic. So you can see all the many things that I have tried, and I'm still trying. I will tell you that I really appreciated all the suggestions that you folks have given me. And I will say that the ones that I really liked the best were the ones that were the cheapest. Like the person who said, use that Swiffer mop, put a cloth on it, get it wet, and just do this every day with a wet mop and maybe a spray bottle with a little water and a little dish soap in it, just a tiny bit of dish soap, obviously. And I think, you know, this seems like something I could do. My journey to conquer cleaning my floors is ongoing. How's yours going? Tell me all about it. For this next hack, join me in my kitchen where I am on a constant quest to get ever more organized. As you can see both behind me and as I show you around, things have gotten considerably more organized in here than they used to be, when it used to be just a pile of stuff. Now it's a pleasure to walk into the kitchen. But small changes can have a big impact, and I want to talk to you about my silverware drawer. We started using chopstick and spoons for a lot of our food, and so we didn't need all of the other things. I got rid of essentially a whole drawer full of spoons, knives, forks that we actually weren't using, and just random things that were stuck in the back. Now all of the random things that are stuck in the back are there. Doesn't this look nice and neat? And let me take you over to the other side, where before I just had a random collection of more spoons, knives, and forks. And then over here on this already cluttered enough space, I had a whole knife block full of knives we weren't using. So I went through and decluttered all the knives and got rid of all of the extra spoons, knives, and forks that we just weren't using. And I've made this into a knife drawer. We are not professional chefs, and so some of you who love really sharp knives are probably horrified by this, but it works really well for us. And these really, really small changes, just inside 2 drawers in my kitchen, make our frugal lives so much better. We find that we go into the kitchen and look for things to cook. We look for ways to use up what's in the pantry. We look for ways to use up what's in the freezer in ways that we didn't before, just because everything is organized. So if you're looking to become more frugal in the kitchen, try organizing your spaces. Even if you don't really want to organize the whole thing right now, organize one small space and see if that inspires you to get in there and cook, to get in there and use up those pantry lurkers, to get into your freezer and find out what treasures might be there. If I can do it, I know you can. For my next hack, let's move from my pretty well organized kitchen to my still in the process of being decluttered office space. And my hack here is, if you're decluttering, it's okay to pause every so often. Let me show you where I am right now. As you may recall, this space was an absolute nightmare before, and now it is a workable space. I can use it to do my day job, I can use it to do my YouTube job, I can use it for the things I need to use it for. This pile over here that I keep telling you folks I'm going to get to has started to grow again. And I have another to-do list here, and I'm getting ready to pack because we're leaving on a trip soon. And here's my little carry-on bag, and not one but 2 laptop cases, because that's how I roll. My new flat purse and some things that I'm putting aside to take on the airplane with me. All of this stuff is putting a pause on the major decluttering that I still need to do here. And sometimes I look at that space over there on my desk and I feel really bad because it's not totally decluttered and it's been a few weeks. But you folks told me it's okay to take time. I told you it's okay to take time, and I'm telling it again to all of us. If you're in the middle of something where you have to put a pause on your decluttering, like me, I'm getting ready to travel, it's okay. It'll wait for when you come back. It'll wait for me when I come back. And if there are things in that pile that I have to handle before I go, I trust myself to do it. I trust you to do it. It's okay to look at those piles and say, you know what? Not today, but I'll get to it later. And we can name a later date and time if we want to, or we can just say, I'm not sure yet. That's okay. I know I've talked to you a lot about decluttering and how to do it, but what happens when you're not quite ready? Most of the time, it's okay to wait. For my last hack, I want to say more about taking your time. And I want to take us outside to look at the flowers that I've shown you before. These are the flowers that I've shown you before when I talk about my own escape from abuse. And many of you have reported that you have had the same experience. And when we escape from bad situations, we often find ourselves in a state of financial insecurity, in a state where frugal living feels like just making do from one day to the next. And I want to assure you that you're not alone if you're in that situation. You're not the only person who's gone through this, and it doesn't mean anything bad about you. In fact, quite the opposite. When you're in a situation where things feel very uncertain, but you are also not being abused, whether it's emotionally or being abused financially anymore or physically, you are free. You may not feel free because you may need extra help. You may need to get help in terms of therapy. You may need to get help in terms of food assistance or housing assistance. You may need to get help in terms of learning exactly how to manage your finances yourself on a day-to-day basis, but you can do it. I have learned all of these things over the years, and I wish I could say I was 100% there, 100% empowered, 100% free. I can't say that, but what I can tell you is that every single day is a journey toward more and more freedom. And if you're in a situation where you feel very scared about your finances because you're leaving a terrible situation or because you left a terrible situation however long ago, and part of that situation was your financial security, you may be thinking, how can I make frugal living work for me when I'm scared? And one of the best things that you can do is to hang out here and talk to us about the practical daily things that make life worth living. Your freedom is worth it, and you can do it. I have a bonus for you today. We have another fur critter in my house named Daisy, and she loves to just take over any space that she can, including my entire bed all day. She is the same age as Goldie, so she's 12 and a half. They came home together, puppy and kitten, from different places, and they have thought they were litter mates ever since. Daisy is in great health and really believes that she is in charge of the entire neighborhood and the entire household, and she loves to have a rest on my bed. If you would like to emulate Daisy on your frugal living journey, then you will be the person who exudes utmost confidence at all times and just expects the food to appear when it needs to. I think it's a great model for life. Wherever you are on your frugal living journey, take the next step, whatever that next step is for you, and know that you are not alone. And I am so proud of you. Live frugally, change your life, and together we will change the world. I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye-bye.